Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Amarachi Ubari.
Good evening and welcome. Tonight, the Senate summons Finance Minister Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala to explain level of implementation of 2013 budget. State Security Service foils kidnap attempt on one of the daughters of President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. Anambra Special Duties Commissioner to submit resignation letter tomorrow to enable him pursue fraud allegation. And Egyptian Police General killed during raid by Muslim Brotherhood near Cairo.
On Business News tonight, the Central Bank of Nigeria expects inflation to remain at a single digit in 2014.
And in sports news, prospect of holding the third 2022 World Cup in winter gets closer as proponents of the idea receive a huge boost.
We begin tonight with the implementation of the nation's 2013 budget, which appears to set the finance minister on a collision course with the Senate. The upper legislative chamber has asked its committees on finance and appropriation to summon the Minister of Finance, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, to explain the level of execution of the budget. The motion was prompted by a remark allegedly made by the Minister of State for Finance, Mr. Yerima Ngama, that the 2013 budget was no longer implementable. Raising the motion, Deputy Senate Leader Abdul Ningi argued that the comment was misplaced since the federal government has not communicated to the National Assembly any record of a fall in revenue generation.
Pronouncement is capable of sending serious negative signals to the Nigerian citizens and indeed to the international community. Mr. President has said it times and times that this economy is healthy, and we believe him. And therefore, no person who is an aide to the president will come out and say this economy is not healthy. We believe this economy is healthy until proven to the contrary by the Minister of Finance that this economy is not healthy. Accordingly, therefore, the Senate resolved to direct the Committee of the Finance and Appropriation of the Senate to invite the Minister of Finance to disclose costs or causes of falling revenues, if any, and to report their findings within 2 weeks from today.
While we await the outcome of the summon, in the meantime, the Minister of Finance says a $3 billion loan, a $300 million loan from the World Bank to support youth employment and social operations has been obtained by the federal government. The ESO program is meant to provide opportunities for employment and social service delivery and harmonize social protection interventions. At the launch of the operation in Abuja, the Minister of Finance, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, explained that it will provide the federal government opportunity to build a registry of poor people in Nigeria for national development.
Human development indicators, we need much improvement on education, on maternal mortality, infant mortality, and so on unemployment. These are areas where this administration is determined to make a difference. The money will be used to build a registry of beneficiaries. So we will begin to have a steady record of those at the bottom end of the ladder in the country who need assistance. You know, in order that we can target those people properly. This is one of the things. You cannot target and help those who need help if you don't know who they are. So one of the things that will be done by this project is to begin to register them. Then this operation will complement, as I said, what is being done at Shopee at both federal and state level. Because the federal government is using the money to create jobs under Shopee, and the states are also doing that. This will complement the effort that is being made.
Minister of Finance, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, the chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Finance, Abdul Mumin Jibrin, says a call for the resignation of the minister is misdirected. Regarding the issue of non-compliance with the revenue projection of the 2013 budget, Mr. Jibrin said the focus of the governors and Nigerians should be on the NNPC and the Minister of Petroleum Resources, Mrs. Diazani Alison Madueke. He wondered why no questions are being asked regarding practices within the sector, which he described as being low in transparency and accountability. Moving away from financial matters now, the Department of State Security has announced the foiling of a kidnap attempt on one of the daughters of the late President Umar Yar'Adua at a construction site in the Kado area of Abuja. Addressing a news conference in the nation's capital, Deputy Director, Public Relations of the service, Marilyn Oga, says a duo of Hamza Abubakar and Lawrence Dennis planned the botched kidnap attempt. The service also paraded a fake General Abubakar Sani, who impersonated a former Minister of Defense and secured 5 truckloads of petroleum products, and a syndicate led by one Nicholas Eze, whose specialty is the forging of educational certificates and visas.
The plan to kidnap and detain the lady in Zuba at the residence of an acquaintance to Dennis. However, this service, acting on actionable intelligence, nullified the plot before it was actualized. Both Hamza and Dennis and other collaborators shall soon be charged to court. Following a complaint received from the Management of Pipelines and Product Marketing Company, PPMC, about the intimidating activities of one General Abubakar Sani, retired, this service initiated an investigation which led to the arrest of the said Sani. Findings: the following were revealed in the course of investigation: that General Abubakar Sani is an impostor whose real name is Elias Theopat Adams. The safety of our dear country is our collective responsibility. We therefore enjoin fellow Nigerians to be more vigilant and cooperate with security agencies as we together strive to protect our nation from the antics of criminals within and outside our shores.
Deputy Director of Public Relations of the DSS, Marilyn Oga. Now, away from security matters happening in Anambra State, former Commissioner for Special Duties has resigned. Mr. Vincent Ezenwa-Jiakwu sent his resignation to the state governor, Mr. Peter Obi, barely 24 hours after he was declared wanted by the police special fraud unit in Lagos. The police had alleged that sometime between 1996 and 2002, Mr. Ezenwa-Jiakwu allegedly duped his business partner of a huge amount of money. But addressing journalists in Awka, the commissioner denied any such allegation, claiming that it was a business deal and that whatever was left of the money would be paid back to his partner. He has, however, resigned his appointment as Commissioner of Special Duties in Anambra State. Do remember, on the 4th of August, detectives of the Police Special Force Unit were in Awka to effect his arrest, but Mr. Ezenwa-Jiakwu resisted.
Is there an element of crime or fraud in this matter? It was an old case, business between friends, buying of share from my company, Bioplastics Industries Limited. A transaction that started 1998 and ended 2000. Out of Chu's own volition, he withdrew from the company and then called in auditors who wound up the company in 2005 finally and said Chus will be paid 7.5 million. We shook hands as friends, and before other things happen, to prove my innocence, I'm going a step further by taking a hard decision of resigning my appointment as Honorable Commissioner for Special Duties.
To bilateral relations now, after this year, Nigeria will no longer be eligible for the U.S. diversity visa lottery. Ever since the Immigration Act of 1990 in the United States, which established a diversity visa program, thousands of people have begun new lives in the United States. 55,000 immigrant visas have been handed out in an annual lottery starting in fiscal year 1995. Nigeria has been one of those countries that has benefited from the generosity of the U.S. government, but that is coming to an end, and it is not for the wrong reason. The change comes at a time when the United States is taking stock of how much the program has impacted on the lives of Nigerians.
That the diversity visa is no longer appropriate for Nigeria.
The Consul General, Mr. Jeffrey Hawkins, says the contribution of 1.5 million Nigerian Americans is huge. They are found in different fields of endeavor where more often than not they have excelled.
Nigerians are leaders in the United States. A recent study found that Nigerian Americans were the most well-educated immigrant group in the entire country. I mean, that is a significant achievement. And it's funny, as recently as 1944, there were exactly 22 Nigerian students in the U.S. Today, as we speak, there are over 7,000, and Nigerians make up the largest student population from Africa.
While Nigeria joins 18 other countries in not being eligible to apply for DV 2015 because it sent more than 50,000 immigrants to the United States in the previous 5 years, it is not the end of the road for other forms of immigration.
If a country has more than 50,000 people legally immigrating to the United States, it's no longer eligible for the DV program. If Nigeria drops under that threshold again in the future, I think that's unlikely, but it might happen, then Nigerians will be welcome to participate in the DV lottery in the future. But for the time being, we've got enough immigration happening in the categories that besides the DV lottery to pull Nigeria out of that category.
This year alone, 9,200 U.S. visas have been given already. 6,000 of them were in normal categories. The U.S. government says it intends to continue to improve on its visa services so that Nigerians who have genuine reasons to travel to the States for work, business or leisure will not be denied the opportunity to do so. In part two, after the break, Lagos State Government flags off registration of residents. That's in a moment. Please stay with us.